So for the last decade, every Bitcoin bull run had a very familiar pattern where Bitcoin would pump, but then liquidity would flow into altcoins and we'd have an alt season, which is a casino-like frenzy where every token, no matter how useless, would rally. Not this time. That era is over. Bitcoin dominance just hit 64%. Earlier this week, on Sunday, it's now trading at 61%, its highest level since February 2021. And this time, the alt casino is not joining the party, as evidenced by this chart. It's burning to the ground. You can see here the correlation between Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin has historically been negative. This dynamic I just spoke about where Bitcoin would rally, Bitcoin dominance would fall as liquidity moved into altcoins. You can observe that loose negative correlation between Bitcoin dominance in white and Bitcoin in orange during the 2019 to 2021 cycle is now completely evaporated, and that loose negative correlation has been replaced with a loose positive correlation, rather tight positive correlation between Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. You can see that 1 year correlation in the bottom pane is now very much positive. So let's take a look at just what happened. In a 24-hour period on February 2nd, there was the largest liquidation event in crypto history, bigger than COVID, bigger than FTX. $2.16 billion were erased overnight, just gone. And Ethereum led the unwind with $573 million in liquidations. And the single biggest liquidation in that initial 24-hour period came from a $25.6 million ETH BTC order on Binance. In response, you can imagine ETH BTC is not doing too well. Obviously, this is the trend that it has had for the last several years. ETH BTC is now at 0.027. Its lowest level since January 2021. This is what real capitulation looks like. If this were an EKG, the doctor would suggest pulling the life support. So as it turns out, this entire non-Bitcoin crypto market was just propped up on 50x and 100x leverage, and that's what crypto has ultimately become. It's actualizing its destiny as a casino where gamblers leverage themselves to the hilt, hoping for a miracle. But when Bitcoin moves the wrong way, all that leverage gets flushed in minutes. Bitcoin isn't just winning against altcoins, it's separating itself from them entirely. This is the first bull market in history where Bitcoin dominance is rising instead of falling, and it's proof positive that this time is different. So for years, altcoins have survived on one thing, literally just one thing, and that's narratives. New technology, new use cases, promises of innovation, but when the leverage underlying all of it unwinds, the truth comes to the fore. Narratives mean absolutely nothing. Take Ethereum, for example. You could see right here, ultrasound money. The ultrasound money crowd promised that Ethereum would be deflationary, that its supply would shrink forever. That's what the merge was all about, right? Well, you could see since the merge, ETH supply is up 6,315 Ethereum, more abundant than when its supply rules were changed to become deflationary. After all the hype, after all the marketing, Ethereum is now more abundant than it was before the merge. And without a monetary premium, what is Ethereum? It's just a platform for VC-funded casinos and leverage-fueled speculation, something that XRP does a better job at, apparently. Bitcoin needs no narrative. It needs no marketing. It has no product roadmap. It just keeps absorbing value, and the world is finally noticing. Even policymakers are waking up. During the White House Crypto Working Group's first press conference, Senator John Boozman made it clear. He said some digital assets are commodities, some are securities. The translation for that is there is Bitcoin, and there's everything else. And here's where things get even more interesting. White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs just confirmed that the administration is now evaluating the feasibility of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. I'll say that again, a Bitcoin reserve, not a national digital asset stockpile, which is what the language was under Trump's executive order. And that shift in language is monumental. Bitcoin is being discussed as a strategic reserve asset the same way that nations talk about gold and U.S. treasuries. It's no longer just about retail. Institutions, governments, and policymakers are all waking up to this very same reality. Bitcoin is the only monetary asset in this ecosystem. Therefore, it's the only one that matters. So this past week has been the most brutal reset in crypto history. Every major altcoin pair against Bitcoin is getting destroyed. On the day that this unwind happened, ETH BTC was down 8.4%, XRP BTC was down 9.3%, and every other altcoin fared even worse. So this wasn't an isolated event. This was an extinction level event for altcoins. When the casino games run on leverage and the leverage is wiped out, what's left? Nothing. Bitcoin is money. Everything else is just a high beta side bet. And this is the most important bull market of our lifetimes. And for the first time, Bitcoin is proving that it doesn't need an alt season. It doesn't need a rising tide of speculation to lift all boats. It is the tide. Do you understand? That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed, make sure you follow, like, and share so that all your friends and family members can see it. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you check out Theia at theia.us, the world's simplest Bitcoin self-custody solution, or you can just scan the QR code to my right. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.